Go ahead, sir.
Hello, I'm Alice Green. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor on the Green Party with my running mate, Al Lewis. We're running because we're deeply concerned over the direction in which the criminal justice system is going. In their rage to punish, legislators have caused our prison population to jump from 12,500 in 1973 to 70,000 people today. Many of them are young, nonviolent drug users who need treatment rather than prison. Each person incarcerated costs taxpayers $30,000 per year, while those with drug problems could be treated in our communities for less than $3,000. Money once used to educate our children is now being used to imprison them instead. Valuable resources are being diverted to prisons from those social service programs that could prevent crime by helping the 1.2 million children in New York State who live in dire poverty. While studies clearly show that education can prevent crime, our prison system is no longer committed to rehabilitation or education. Remember that 98% of those who are incarcerated will return to our communities. We are needlessly wasting money and young lives with our failed criminal justice policies. It is time for some common sense. Public safety is best served when all of our children are nurtured and educated, when those who want jobs can get them, when those who need drug treatment can get it upon demand, and when our society is committed to rehabilitating lives rather than destroying them. So please vote for us in the Green Party this year.
Financed on a shoestring and a few promotional T-shirts. Alice Green of Albany is running with Grandpa Al Lewis, formerly of the Munsters, on a platform that it's time for some radical common sense. The Greens started out as an environmental party, thus the name Green, but it's expanded to include issues of nonviolence and social justice.
The Green Party speaks to a lot of the issues and concerns, particularly of people who don't normally vote. We talk about social justice issues. We're concerned about welfare. We're concerned about the treatment of people by the criminal justice system. So I think we give them a choice, a real choice. There's no choice if you're talking about Republican, Democrat.
New York has taken a ghoulish turn just a few days before Halloween. A monster isn't running, but a monster is. Phil Bailey live at the state capitol with more on this. Phil.
George Pataki's opponents might suggest the state capitol is haunted 365 days a year. But next Tuesday, voters get a chance to elect a real Hollywood vampire.
You hear that, Herman? The pride of Transylvania, treated like a common criminal.
Legends say vampires never die. But Grandpa Munster of the popular 1960s sitcom wants to haunt New York State Capitol for the next 4 years.
Thank you.
Al Lewis is running for governor in New York for the fringe Green Party.
People ask me, come on now, you really serious? You think you're gonna win? I win every day of my life, sir.
Lewis says he wins whenever he gets his message across. He'd repeal the death penalty, wants to increase the minimum wage, and clean up the environment. In Albany, he appealed for votes at a Halloween party. What else is this about? The Green Party. New York state law says if Lewis gets approximately 50,000 votes next Tuesday, his Green Party will win a permanent place on the ballot, become a political party with a future. Right now, polls say they're on track to do it.
I'll drink to that.
Lewis holds a PhD in child psychology. His running mate is criminal justice expert Alice Green of Albany.
Acting is only one part of his life, a very small part, as a matter of fact. He's been much more involved with Black Panthers and pointing out social conditions and issues.
And Lewis will tell you he's no political hack answering to special interests.
I don't have to walk on eggshells. I can tell it like it is. What are they going to scare me with, death?
When the Green Party wanted Al Lewis to register with the election board as Grandpa Al, he dragged his feet, Ed, and no one around him could quite understand why. Well, it turns out Al Lewis has been telling Hollywood he's 75 years old. His voter registration revealed to the world he's 88.
He looks more like 75. I would not have believed 88. What's the chance, Phil, that he's going to get the 50,000 votes and give his party a permanent place on the ballot for 4 years?
The last poll that showed how he was doing indicated he was on his way. He had about 1.6% of the vote. That would give him about 85,000 votes, a pretty good cushion over the 50,000 needed.
I know you know this because you've covered it. There is a ghost supposedly on the 4th floor of the Capitol, an old watchman from the day of the fire.
That's
Did you
right.
tell him about that?
Did I tell him about it? No, I think I should have, huh?
Maybe he'll find out for himself.
That's right.
Phil Bailey, live at the Capitol. Thank you, Phil.
Weekend, the holiday being Halloween, and also because this is a story about a vampire and a politician, and that's pretty scary, we think. You probably remember Al Grandpa Lewis from the Munsters. Well, now meet Al Grandpa Lewis, the politician, the candidate, perhaps the future governor of the state of New York. Okay, perhaps not, but meet the vampire candidate anyway. Here's Steve Fox.
When Grandpa Munster runs for governor, there's nothing ordinary about either the candidate or the campaign. For example, some people at this whistle stop weren't exactly sure if he was going to kiss the baby or bite the kid's neck.
He doesn't like politicians. I don't blame him.
Veteran character actor and longtime political activist Al Lewis, Grandpa's real name, was in Albany this week to meet voters. How do you know who he is?
Watching the show.
Watching the show.
To watch it was a tradition in my family.
This could be your big break. Go out there.
Lewis played the Munster family's vampire father-in-law in the 1960s TV show, which made him famous. Even at age 88, Lewis brings to his campaign the same energy and flair that has made Grandpa Munster a haunted household name.
You don't forget people like that.
Are you going to vote for him?
Yes, I will go for it.
You will vote for him?
Yes, I will.
Lewis and the Green Party he represents wanted to list him on the ballot as Grandpa, but a court turned them down. The Greens put him on the ballot anyway because the party wanted his drawing power.
It's about getting 50,000 votes.
50,000 is the number of votes any political party needs to automatically get their candidates on the ballot the next time around. So maybe Grandpa Munster's campaign is not quite as batty as it might sound.
I believe in myself. I speak my piece. I speak truth to power. I don't walk on eggshells. I'm me.
And certainly not your typical blood-sucking politician.
Thank you very much.
This is Steve Fox for Good Morning America, Sunday.
Politics is blood sport. When we return, a new route to the top of the...
Once again, protesters disrupted the festivities.
Albany's Martin Luther King birthday celebration is vibrant with joy and hope and memories of a man who inspired the world. Lieutenant Governor Mary Donahue of Troy stood in for Governor Pataki, and immediately Albany activist Alice Green silently unfurled a banner protesting the Pataki administration's policies on building prisons. At last year's celebration, Green was arrested for doing the same thing, but was left alone this year. Green recently filed suit against the state for last year's arrest.
Week ago.
We want to work with the citizens because I think citizens want safe streets. They want the violence to stop.
But some community leaders are firing back.
I haven't heard about it. We definitely want to get rid of guns. However, we also want to make sure that people's rights are protected.
The chief's crackdown on guns coincides with the governor's plan to put 100 troopers as part of a task force to swipe illegal guns off the streets. But it's also a crackdown that's triggered concern.
We need to be working together if we're going to make the city of Albany a safer place.
In Albany, I'm Christy Mazurek, News 10.
Leanne is in Albany with the very latest. Karen.
Kelly, those pleas not only come from Albany police, but activist Alice Green. She says that 2 years ago, Tracy Grady had complaints about the Albany police that they targeted him and tried to beat him up. Green says Grady made the complaint to the Center for Law and Justice, that Grady told her he was so traumatized by the alleged beating, he had trouble sleeping, and was very fearful of police and thought they were out to kill him.
Well, I guess I'm not terribly surprised that there was some kind of confrontation. I don't know what happened, obviously. I'm very fearful for him because I know of how he felt about the police. and I'm hoping that this matter can be resolved without more violence. I don't want the police to kill him, or I don't want him to harm himself.
I can't comment on Mrs. Green's allegations. All I can tell you was the officers at the time of the incident 2 nights ago, or a night and a half ago, had probable cause to stop him. He was wanted on a previous domestic dispute, so there was probable cause for them to stop him. We have enough witnesses that stated there was an altercation, that he tried to resist the police officers, and we have enough witnesses that state they actually saw him shooting at the police officers. So,
if you have any information about the shooting case, you are asked to call the number on your screen, 462-8039. Police urge Tracy Grady to give himself up, and Alice Green also urges him to turn himself in to someone he trusts. Kelly?
Karen, there's been word that some residents in that neighborhood are upset over what they're calling mistreatment yesterday during the search for him. Any word on that tonight?
Alice Green did allude to that. She said that tomorrow the complaints will be made formally, and James Miller, the public information officer for Albany Police, said that no one's rights were violated. He said that people were actually coming forward and were very helpful in the search.
All right, thank you, Karen.
2 Albany police officers yesterday to turn himself in. Police are looking for 33-year-old Tracy Grady in connection with the shooting that left Officer Stanley Nadorsky in serious condition. Fellow Officer Thomas Shea was hit by a bullet to the shoulder, but he was treated and released. Now, Grady has had a long history of arrests, and Green wants him to turn himself in before there is more violence.
I'm asking Tracy to contact someone that he trusts and to give himself up. I fear for his life, either from the police or from himself.
Alice Green of the Center for Law and Justice says she first met Tracy Grady 2 years ago when he came to her asking for help. After he says police officers stopped his car, then beat him with a flashlight.
He brought in a bloodied shirt to show us how they had the blood that was on it from a beating by the police, and he feared that the police would kill him.
Green says Grady filed a complaint and appealed to Mayor Jerry Jennings, but the city found the complaint to be unfounded. Green is concerned that tensions over the shooting of the 2 officers in Arbor Hill Saturday morning will spill over into the community. As police investigated the neighborhood, police alleged that Rodney Garland of a nearby funeral home tried to hit police with his van.
You had a resident of the Garland family arrested, his mother hit. There are a lot
Still on the run tonight. Police say 33-year-old Tracy Grady could be anywhere, and tonight police agencies across the state are searching for him. Officer Stanley Nadorsky remains in serious condition tonight. He was wounded in the face, shoulder, and stomach. Officer Thomas Shea is home tonight, recovering from a gunshot wound to the shoulder. Police say it was Shea's gun Tracy Grady grabbed during that shooting. Since the shooting just before 2 Saturday morning, police have followed several leads without success, and tonight there are allegations Albany police abused their power during the early hours of the search. News 10's Walt McClure is in the newsroom tonight with that part of the story. Walt?
Sarah, as you say, hours after the manhunt for Tracy Grady began yesterday, allegations began running through the community that Albany police were harassing people in the Arbor Hill neighborhood in retaliation for the shooting. Among those accusing the police, a city councilwoman and her son, who says he was witnesses to officers abusing their power. The two say that people were being harassed in front of an Arbor Hill grocery store when things got out of control. Police say they made 4 arrests at the store unrelated to the Grady case, but say they will look into this situation as closely as they're looking at the shooting.
Basically, we're black in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time and got harassed.
Sean Foskey says he was just going into Fat D's Market at Clinton and Swan for some juice when the harassment began. He says a number of officers were on the corner, and when he came out of the store, they came after him.
When I leave, I'm exiting to pepper spray being sprayed in my mouth. Then, after I'm being sprayed in the mouth, I tell the officer, I have your badge number. I clearly just walked out, so I guess that offended the other officers, because now it's 2 officers just charging me.
Sean's mother, 5th Ward Councilwoman Shirley Foskey, says she is very concerned for everyone in the neighborhood and says that this cannot happen again.
Supposed to be training of police officers so that they would know the proper procedure to follow. You can't rush into a community because 2 policemen were shot and harass people.
No one should think that at all. Obviously, the nature of the incident in itself made it serious enough that we had to put all our resources in that concentrated area.
In response, the police department says there is no administration-backed retaliation plan for this, that this situation is being investigated just as carefully as the shooting itself, but that top priority now is to find the man who took down 2 of their officers.
We're continuing follow up on all leads. We're still having leads come in. The community has been very good. There's been an outpouring of help from the community. We're continuing to follow up every lead possible that comes in.
Now, Sean Foskey did say that he has the officer's badge number, but neither he nor his mother has named the specific officer that allegedly went after him. Also, the Garland family, which owns an African-American funeral home on Clinton Avenue near the store, alleges they were also mistreated by police. Activist Alice Green from the Center for Law and Justice says that Tracy Grady had contacted her 2 years ago in 1997 asking for help after allegedly being beaten from police. At the time, the department found that that complaint was unfounded. Detective Miller would not comment on that, Alice Green's comments. He says that any complaints that may be brought, if founded, will be given to the Internal Affairs Division for further investigation. Sarah?
Well, during this alleged altercation